Cause we be on a tough love. Oh, we feeling so high. Don't be afraid of falling. Cause you know we gon' fly. Cause we be on a tough love. Oh, we feeling so high. Don't be afraid of falling.
Channel. My name is Kinsani and I bring you faith, education, wisdom and lifestyle content. Thank you guys for all the support. We have reached 800 subscribers. A big thank you to Ndombana Mabina. I hope I said your name correctly, for reminding me and encouraging me to do this second part of what you can do with your LLB degree. Let's just start and get into it. So like I said, today's video we are talking about what you can do with your LLB degree following part 1, and with today we are looking into academia, the private sector and public interest. So let's start with the public interest. Justice Daya Pillay defines public interest law as law that impacts the interest of the public, and particularly law that advances the rights of the vulnerable, the poor, and the disadvantaged. Public interest lawyers pursue cases that would otherwise go unrepresented and aims to fill in the gaps in the legal system. They represent rights of minorities, women, consumers, poor people, and disadvantaged persons. So they would mainly focus on issues such as public participation, gender rights, environment, housing, protection of human rights. And public law centers, interest law centers, such as Legal Resources Center, Center for Environmental Rights, Lawyers for Human Rights, Center for Applied Legal Studies. Sorry about the background noise. Is you can do things like litigation, research, and advisory work. So you might know some of the cases that we've done mainly in constitutional law and bill of rights pertain particularly to public interest law matters. You might know Grootboom about the right to housing, which was a matter about public interest. You might heard about the rights of people in the Wild Coast. Recently, the What About Shell seismic survey is a public interest matter. Any other examples, about Earthlife Africa, Golobeni? These are mainly environmental because I work a lot with environmental law. So, but these are public interest matters where some of these public interest law centers were involved in. So yeah, that's what you can do: advisory work, research work, and litigation at some of these public interest law centers. Okay, so let's move on to the second thing that you can do, which is work for the private sector. Usually here we have the people we call non-practicing attorneys. They provide legal advice for like big companies, your Vodacom, not only big companies, but they're employed in companies like your Vodacom, so they are in-house legal advisor or in-house counsel, like Aspen, like Anglo American, those kind of companies. And also you find them working in the regulatory and compliance spaces. They also work in banks, your major banks, for example, and you also get to see them doing consulting work. So you might find that they are consultants, but they are no longer in practice. Last but not least is what you can do with your LLB is stay in academia. So once you've obtained your LLB degree, you go on to do your LLM and your PhD, and then you become a lecturer, a professor at a university. There are other things within the university, for example, that you can do. You can be a researcher, you can lecture, you can work for the law school center programs, you can work for the law school or undergraduate administration processes such as student affairs or career development processes. So yeah guys, I hope this was a good video and I hope you found it helpful. Again, thank you to Ndombana. I hope I'm saying your name correctly, for encouraging me to do this video. I was hesitant. I was a bit hesitant in terms of time, but I hope this summarizes some of the areas you can get into. So part 2, you can get into academia, you can get into public interest, you can get into the private sector. Just a highlight, public interest law is interesting. It's interesting because you do a lot of protection of the human rights and you work a lot with the Bill of Rights. It's something that if you're very passionate about justice and seeing the government implement the laws that have been promulgated, you could go for. Thanks again for everyone who's watching. Please don't forget to leave a comment, like, and subscribe. We are going to 1,000 subscribers. Please share all the work that we've done on this channel, and thank you so much. Have a good week.